This podcast is brought to you in part by Academy Travel at MickeyVacations.com. Academy Travel is the official travel sponsor of the Pirates and Princesses podcast, and we can't recommend them enough. Go to MickeyVacations.com/PNP. That's MickeyVacations.com/PNP to get started on your next Disney dream vacation today. And now on with the show.
So glad you could come along. I put a spell on you.
Grid is live. Initiate light cycle battle.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
For a safe trip, remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the cabin. Be sure to watch your children, and no smoking, please.
Welcome to the Pirates and Princesses podcast.
We're a different kind of Disney podcast. We do it our way.
We talk about Disney parks, Disney movies, TV, video games.
Anything Disney.
I'm your host, Thom Pratt.
And I'm your other host, Kam Pratt.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Thom Pratt, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely wife, Kam Pratt.
That's me.
That's her. That's me again.
It's me.
And we're going to wish happy birthday to our namesake, which is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
It turned 50.
Half of our namesake.
Half of our namesake. But Pirates of the Caribbean, the Disneyland version, the original Disneyland version, turns 50 years old this year.
It was, March 18th, 1967?
March 18th, 1967. So we are going to do a top 10 list.
Yes. Of fun little facts.
Fun factoids about Pirates of the Caribbean. So this should be really cool. We
hope so.
Yeah.
Hope it don't suck too much.
So okay, well, do you want to go ahead and kick this off? Because can't put the list together, so.
I will, but first I want to say the first family trip that we took with the kids, because you had been to Disneyland before, and I had been to Disney World many times, was when we went to Disney World, the first ride we took them on was Pirates of the Caribbean.
It was Pirates of the Caribbean. And it was so funny because our daughter, Kyrie, was about 2.5. Yeah. We took her, and she was actually sleeping.
You set her down beside you, didn't you? But you had her since she was laying.
Yeah, I was kind of holding her.
Line.
She fell asleep in line, and she woke up after the drop.
But then she didn't get freaked out or scream. She woke up and she's like, "Whoa!" And she was just like smiling and all happy, like, "What is this?" You know?
No, she had no idea. So, but yeah, that was our very first family ride.
It was Pirates of the Caribbean. See, you forgot.
No, I didn't forget.
You didn't think to mention it.
I should have mentioned it. But so we're going to have some other factoids. Okay. So that's 11 factoids. That's one of ours.
Yes. Now I got these facts from places like mentalfloss.com, Disney Parks blog, DisneyList.com, and the LA Times are some of the different places I got these facts from.
So give credit where credit is due.
I do. I don't like to take things without crediting where we got them from. So fact number 1. Originally, Pirates of the Caribbean was planned as a New Orleans-style market with a pirate wax museum housed in a 70-foot basement, which is probably why you have the drops going down. The 70-foot basement. That was the original plan. It was like a wax museum. I think it was like a walkthrough type thing.
Okay, they were going to do that with Haunted Mansion originally. Right. It was supposed to be a walkthrough, too.
Well, back then, you remember, too, a lot of things. Like, they still have, like, at Kennywood, they have the one, arc ride that you walk through. They used to do walkthroughs, were popular. Yeah. But because of the popularity of Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln and Small World at the 64 World's Fair, he basically decided he wanted to do more of a animatronic type ride instead. Yeah,
and Pirates sort of, with Disney rides is like one of those quintessential Disney rides. It has everything you think of with a Disney attraction. It's got the animatronics, It's got the boat, it's got the
That's like
theming.
Small World,
Yeah. So everything's sort of.
And with the Pandora coming, and they have the boat ride. It reminds me in the same vein as Pirates. But basically, to me, it strikes me as a Small World and Pandora, but whatever. Okay, so that was my first one. My second little factoidy thing is Pirates cost $8 million to build. This is back in 60s. $8 million. The entire New Orleans Square where it's located costs $15 million. But what's cool is it's incidentally the same cost the U.S. paid for New Orleans and the Louisiana Purchase in 1803.
So fake New Orleans cost as much as real.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because I'm like $15 million then. I mean, how much would that be now?
Yeah, I don't have a calculator in hand, but it would be pretty significant.
Yeah, so they paid $15 million for the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, and it cost $15 million to build New Orleans Square. Now, of course, the cost $8 million doesn't include like any refurbs they've done or repairs. That was the original cost.
So what would Pirates run now? Pirates would probably be like,
I have no idea.
$100 million attraction.
I don't think it'd be that much. I mean, it would be a lot more, but it wouldn't be maybe 50 or something like that.
Well, they had to create a lot of the technology from the ground up too. I mean, it was,
Well, yeah, but they had the technology with the World's Fair, and they kind of just took that and, moved it over to this. Okay, number 3. This was the last attraction personally supervised by Walt Disney, because he passed away in 1966, a few months before it opened in 1967. So he was there and he helped plan the whole thing, but they didn't have the boats built, and he wanted to see what it would be like to ride through Pirates of the Caribbean. So the Imagineers actually made like a makeshift ride vehicle where they stuck a chair on a dolly and strapped it down, and they sat him in a chair and they pulled him through the ride at the same speed the boats would go, so he'd get an idea of what the ride was like.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I think there's footage of that somewhere, and I'm trying to remember back because I know they had like a Disneyland special on. They always did the upcoming attractions, and I remember him walking around the animatronics, the Pirates animatronics.
Yeah, I remember seeing that before too. But if there's a video of that, that'd be fun to see.
Yeah.
And I guess they were really worried. The Imagineers were worried because when you're going through it, you can't catch all the bits of conversation. You can't catch everything on your first time through. But they said Walt loved it. He said it was like being at a cocktail party, and it would give you something to come back and look for something new each time.
That is true. I thought that was kind of cool. Last year when we were on Pirates with the the refurb with Jack Sparrow, we actually got stuck right in front of Jack, and I'd never heard the entire speech. Like,
didn't you tape it?
I think I did tape it.
You should put that up.
Yeah, so we actually got to hear the entire conversation he has with himself, which is kind of fun. But
okay, so number 4. Okay, this one's actually funny. This sounds like something you would do, Tom. Okay. Disney was worried that the opening ribbon cutting was going to be kind of boring. Here we are in front of Pirates cutting the ribbon, blah blah blah.
Yeah, they called it the grip and grin photo. Yeah.
So he wanted to make sure that it got good press and it got out there, because I mean, we work with press and you have to have something that grabs their attention. And if it says boring, they're not going to report on it. So what he did was he hired actors to hijack the reporters. They were on the Columbia, the ship Columbia, in the rivers of America. So these actors were pirates. They boarded the ship. They hijacked, quotes, air quotes you can't see. I'm making air quotes, but you can't see them. They hijacked the ship and then steered the ship over to Pirates of the Caribbean with the press on board. And then they broke down the fake front door to the attraction like they were looting the place and ran inside. So that it would be memorable and everybody would cover it, which was brilliant.
Well, that's something that a lot of media companies do now. They do like viral marketing and.
Oh yeah, you see, but sometimes they get in trouble for it, like those little fake bombs that went a couple years ago.
Was
or like a Cartoon Network or something, wasn't it?
That was Adult Swim. That was
Swim,
for I think Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I think that's
they
what
had
it was.
actually planted fake bombs all over this.
Yeah.
Really stupid given the climate today, the terrorism. But yeah, they did that and they got in big trouble for it.
That's an example of not doing it very well.
Right.
But Disney actually knew how to do it and do it right. Even though I wonder what they were thinking when they were being hijacked. However, okay, number 5. Okay, this a lot of people know about already, but I think it's cool. So in the Pirates ride, you have the down below where the ride is. The up above part is an actual apartment. It was meant to be a 3,000 square foot apartment built for either Walt or Roy to use, but neither one really wanted to use it. So for years they used it for VIP guests, and now it's turned into the Disneyland Dream Suite, where they have guests stay, which is kind of like what the Cinderella Castle Suite, kind of like the same thing.
It's like Disneyland's version of that because the castle's not big enough to have a Dream Suite in it.
So yeah, so it's like their version of that. So they have their Disneyland Dream Suite. Anything you want to add? You're being awfully quiet.
No, I was just thinking the last time I heard about the Dream Suite was they were doing dinners up there. You could have a dinner reception party for like up to 12 people. It was like $15,000 or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like crazy expensive.
Was that the Disneyland one?
It's Disneyland, yeah.
How long ago was that?
Just a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Because now they're saying they use it for gas, but this was information that might have been like, in the last. I searched for the last few months, the last year. So, okay. Now number 6, and a lot of people know this already too. Real human skeletons were originally used in the ride, but later they thought better of that and removed them and put the fake skeletons in their place. But rumor has it that one real skull was left behind on purpose.
Probably, but I mean, I guess I'm kind of like, I don't understand what the problem is in using real skeletons, because they probably got them from a medical supplier or something.
Cousin Bob always wanted to be famous. He wanted to be famous, and now he's enshrined in Pirates of the Caribbean. But yeah,
that's what I want. There you go. I'm gonna get this on audio. You've got a record. When I die, I don't want to be buried or cremated. I want to be skinned and put in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say to that, because that's creepy as heck, and I can't even wrap my head around that. You want to be skinned, and okay. So anyway, on that note, I don't care what your record says. I'm not going by that. Okay, number 7.
Go see Dad. Come on.
Yeah, he's pirate number 5 back in the back.
5.
All right, number 7. The fire effect seems so real that before the opening of the Anaheim fire chief rode the ride, and he asked that they install an automatic shutoff so that if there was a real fire, the fire sequence would just shut down so the firemen wouldn't be trying to fight a fire that didn't really exist. Because they use like cloth and lights and fans, and you've been there, you've seen it, and the flames look really real. Right. But he asked that they install an automatic shutoff if the ride would shut down because of fire, so that it wouldn't confuse firefighters of what real fire was.
Because that fake fire is it's so realistic.
So anyway, I thought that was kind of neat, and I always liked how they have that fake fire effect. It's really, and then it smells like the fire too. I always liked it.
I think they buy that scent in bulk because they use it in Spaceship Earth too.
Number 8, in the original Pirates, they had the pirates that were, I'm going to say, lustful.
Pirates.
They were chasing women, in a circle. You can chasing women in a circle or different things. And so over the years, they gave the women plates of food. So it looks like the pirates are supposed to be chasing the food, not the women, because that's what that whole song, is about chasing food. So they tried to make it look like it wasn't as bad as it was. And then, I don't know if you remember, do you have something you want to say?
I was going to say, instead of raping and pillaging, it's pillaging and binging. Binge eating, stress eating.
We're not after you, we're after your food.
Stress eating pirates.
But then I remember this. I don't know if you remember this. But in the original ride, they had the one big fat pirate sitting by the barrel. And in the new ride, they have a guy sitting there, and he's talking about like a map or keys, and about, hoping Captain Jack Sparrow doesn't find the map or the keys or whatever. And then Jack pops up out of the barrel. Well, originally, and I remember this, it was a big pirate sitting there, and he's holding a pink petticoat, and he's making these comments about the girl who is in the barrel, supposed to be without clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they took that out.
Well, it was there for about 40 years. It's only been the last 10 years that they had.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember it. I was like,
I do too, because I've ridden the Disneyland version.
When I was going through the facts, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that. I forgot all about that. But yes, so they changed that too, because
she was hiding a ham sandwich in her petticoat. And that's why he took it off.
Well, they took it out, so it doesn't matter. If they had left it in, that could have been their story, their narrative.
Right.
Is he was after the ham sandwich in her petticoat.
Arg.
Okay, number 9. The ride has had about 400 million riders since 1967, and the population of the United States is about 324 million people.
So we've had more people ride the Pirates of the Caribbean than we have had.
Yes.
It's the Brazilian tour groups.
I don't know, or I don't know if that counts. I like someone's been there like 100 times. Each ride
I'm sure. I'm saying it says the entire population of the United States plus Brazilian tour groups. That's where they get that number from.
That's probably the number from. I don't know if they have as many Brazilian tour groups in Disneyland as they do Disney World.
I do not believe so.
Because I know Disney World, they're everywhere.
Disneyland, I remember, you have Argentina and Brazil. Disneyland, I remember there being a lot of Japanese tourists. A lot of Asian tourists. I don't remember there being the big groups.
I've never been to
It's been years. We're talking my Disneyland memories are a little foggy now.
Well, I watched the video of the Disneyland one, and I was like, wow, this is way different than the Disney World, because I've never been to Disneyland, so. Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. We need to fix that.
I don't know if I want to fix that, but okay, so maybe. Okay, and number 10, the last one. This is kind of cool. The ride is home to approximately 120 animatronics. Then the one website said that they think there's 68 humans and 54 animals for 122 total. So approximately 120 audio animatronic figures are in the ride, which is a lot.
Yeah, it is. You don't really think about it because you're going through the ride and you're not seeing them all in one batch. Like you've got groups of pirates, and there probably are like 8 or 10 scenes in the ride of 8 or 10 pirates per scene. So yeah, it makes sense.
But I mean, you think about how many have to have. Each one has its own control. Each one has its own like computer system and everything else, and it's all like that's a lot to wrap your head around. I'm like, dang.
So I'm trying to think. Okay, so which has more? We'll have to look that up. Which has more Spaceship Earth or Pirates of the Caribbean?
Which has more what?
Human animatronics, because Spaceship Earth has an awful lot of.
Really? I would think pirates. I would think pirates. I don't know. You have to look up. I don't think Spaceship Earth has more than pirates.
I don't know. The
only thing I can think of that has more things that move in it than pirates might be Small World, and they're not really. They're more like little clicky puppet things.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd really consider those like full-blown animatronics. There are some that are, but for the most part, they're just dolls that...
Now, I'm wondering, too, in that number, they say animatronics, but I'm wondering in that number if it's a matter of some of the ones that don't actually move. They're just like the figures that are there, like the skeletons and stuff.
Yeah, because not everything moves.
I don't know if they're counting that or not.
Very limited movement.
They said animatronics, so I'm assuming they meant just the ones that move. But there's that many. But that seems like an awful lot. I'm running through it in my head. Haunted Mansion, though, doesn't really have a lot of...
Not till you get to the end.
To the graveyard. Yeah. I mean, because...
Even then, they're not really full-blown. Most of them aren't full-blown.
They're just heads that pop up or, different things.
Yeah,
so yeah. So there is 10 fun facts about pirates. The Caribbean and Disneyland. And some of them apply to Disney World, too, I'm sure.
Yeah, mostly... Well, I do remember that when Disney World opened, Pirates of the Caribbean was not... one of the original attractions, and people complained because they wanted Pirates of the Caribbean so badly, and I guess they didn't bring pirates to Disney World right away because they didn't feel it was exotic enough because the Caribbean is so close to Florida. It was like, whatever, we've got pirates, so, but yes, then they cloned it for Florida.
So here's 10 facts about Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland, plus 1 fact about Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney World. What I like about it too is their gift shop. They have like the most awesome gift shop. I don't know about Disneyland, but Disney World one has that amazing gift shop you come out into. I love it.
I like the cue music. That's, I think, my favorite cue music of any attraction in any of the Disney parks is the Pirates cue music, because it sounds, when it echoes in the space, it sounds like they're blowing on bottles, or like it's the wind actually making the sound.
And I like the queue area there too, because even when you're in the beginning of the queue and you're kind of more in the open air area, they have fans going so it's not too hot, and as you progress through, it's really good about making sure that you're not in the heat.
Yeah,
if you have to wait in line for an hour there, you're not gonna
no.
It's not gonna be as much trouble as like waiting in line an hour for something else that you're outside for.
Yeah. So it's now Disneyland's a little bit different. A lot of their attractions, they actually do make you wait outside more. I think.
Well, I'm talking Disney World. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
Like I said, point of reference.
Well, no, but I'm just saying I mean, that's one thing I do prefer about Disney World is that most of the queues are indoors. You're not, I mean, because Florida you'd get incinerated. I think they learned their lesson, I think, from Disneyland when they...
Well, Disneyland gets really hot too, but I've never been, so which one's hotter?
I think if you factor the humidity in, definitely Disney World. Florida's just unbearably hot sometimes.
That's why I won't move to Florida.
Sorry.
I mean, not that I don't like Florida.
Get podcasts every day if we went to Florida.
That and fire ants. I mean, those two things, sway me from moving there. Well, then the fact that I'm very, 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 very fair-skinned, and the sun and I are not friends. No. So those things keep me away.
Okay. So, not moving to Florida. But yeah, definitely check out Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm sure you have. Anybody who's listening to this podcast, I'm sure has probably been on Pirates of the Caribbean, or they plan to be on Pirates of the Caribbean at some point.
I want to be on Pirates of the Caribbean.
So that's one of those attractions that, like I said, it's like a quintessential Disney attraction. I don't get tired of it. Like I can never ride Pirates too much.
It's just awesome every time. But so if you're a person that wants to go ride Pirates of the Caribbean, what should you do?
Go to Disney World or Disneyland via our sponsor, Mickey Vacations.
See how we're smooth.
Yeah,
so
look
smooth.
at that. That was really
so smooth.
That was really smooth. This podcast was brought to you in part by MickeyVacations.com. and they are phenomenal. If you want to plan a Disney trip, I'd recommend doing it through them. It's mickeyvacations.com/PNP is our portal page, and you get all kinds of bonus stuff if you go through the PNP page and tell them Thom and Kam sent you.
Yeah, but you don't have to actually say Thom and Kam sent you.
Yeah, you do.
You don't.
Yeah.
But besides that, you can also check out the Kingdom Insider at thekingdominsider.com.
Yeah, it's a new affiliate of ours. It's a Disney news site and Disney forums. If you want to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean, come on to the forums at thekingdominsider.com and talk about Pirates of the Caribbean.
And we have all kinds of stuff on there, and on the blog and on the Facebook page. Tom's on there all the time. If you want to chat with Tom, he's always hanging out. He has no life.
Nothing better to do.
No, that's not true.
Talk about Disney World.
So that's what it's not that you have nothing better to do. It's your favorite thing to do.
It is one of my favorite things to talk about.
So check us out on Facebook. You can find us at Pirates and Princesses on Facebook.
Pirates and Princesses, yep. Or go to piratesandprincesses.net or drop us an email at piratespodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. So you can hang out with us all over the place. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere. All right. Well, we will
scared then.
Talk to you next time. We'll probably do a Disney news podcast next time, I think.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Pirates and Princesses is a production of Clownfish Studios. We are an unofficial Disney podcast, not endorsed or affiliated with the Walt Disney Company. You can visit us on the web at piratesandprincesses.net. That's piratesandprincesses.net. You can shoot us an email at piratespodcast@gmail.com. That's piratespodcast@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.